Well, good day to you again. This is David Norman. Lions, tigers, consultants, oh my. The negative press continues about consulting, and I, for one, am embarrassed. I can only surmise that some of the founders of what are now the large consulting firms would also be embarrassed and maybe even angry. Bill Bain of Bain & Company, Marvin Bower, James McKinsey of McKinsey & Company, Bruce Henderson of Boston Consulting Group, and the list goes on. These and other firms were formed in a different time when professionalism meant something powerful, I believe. Marvin Bower himself was recognized as a fellow in the Institute of Management Consultants in 1988, the year, by the way, I became a certified management consultant, a CMC. But more on IMC USA later. Earlier I wrote this year a blog about reputational damage and about some of the earlier examples of the negative press, including a nearly $600 million settlement over consulting work with opiate companies, with possible corruption in Angola, with a criminal probe in French campaigns, and the list went on. In the interim, other negative press has been released. The New Republic has an article alleging a major consulting firm's activities in the hospital not-for-profit world has had systemic elimination of humane health care for the poor and a general lowering of the quality of health care available as health care becomes more of a commodity. In her book, The Big Con, How the Consulting Industry Weakens Our Businesses, Infantilizes Our Governments, and Warps Our Economies, Rosie Collington says that the government, UK, spent millions on consulting services during the pandemic. Collington argues that the added lack of transparency around consulting firms' work also leave the potential for huge conflicts of interest. Quoting, historically, these firms have offered a very narrow view of what good economics and good government looks like. We can't argue that they're neutral in their advice. Finally, the Insider wrote about McKinsey cutting 2,000 jobs. Bloomberg reported that McKinsey seeks to eliminate support roles to help save money for consulting roles, noting that in the past 5 years the firm added 17,000 employees. Oh my, indeed. It has been personally relayed to me by a colleague that in the mid-'80s, as IMC USA was adopting a code of ethics for its members, a member of a large firm, a member of IMC USA at that time, reportedly said, quote, "We cannot accept a code of ethics. We have to do what is necessary." Ponder that. We cannot accept a code of ethics. We have to do what is necessary. Prophetic words, even if it's not a direct quote and only a sentiment. Would many of the examples have been prevented if management consultants and/or their firm had subscribed to an enforceable code of ethics? From what I hear about the beliefs and the founding value as Marvin Bower, things just might be a little different today. A couple things he wrote about. He said a business of high principle, employees know they can do the right thing decisively and with confidence. And further, he wrote, by consistent ethical character of its action, the firm, builds a favorable image. This all suggests that it's high time for consultants to adopt and subscribe to an enforceable code of ethics and indeed a code of conduct. Those who do so separate and differentiate themselves in their consulting practice from those who don't. I have done so since 1988, but it's not too late. It's not too late for you to be different, to be professional, and to be proud of how you practice. So, as an idea, do your career and yourself a favor. Spend a few minutes looking at imcusa.org. Check out what our members stand for. Check out our code of ethics, and even the CMC, the Certified Management Consultant. It'll only take you a few minutes, but I ask, what is your reputation and your profession worth? This is David Norman.